everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing a quick review on the new highlighters from Rare Beauty. These finally came in the mail today. I ordered them on launch day here in Europe, which I believe was last Tuesday. I ordered them from Sephora France and they just arrived today. So I thought I would go ahead and film a review video for you guys today. I picked up two of the shades. We have Enlighten and then we have the shade Exhilarate. I thought I would get two so we could do like a little comparison. I myself was quite like unsure when I looked online about which shade I wanted to get. Both of these look super pretty and I was wondering whether the shade Exhilarate would work for my skin tone or if it was going to be a little bit too deep. So I thought it would be helpful to try them both out today for you guys and show the difference and everything. We'll also do some like swatch comparisons between some of my other favorite highlighters that I think will be similar, so we can see like what the difference is in the formula and the shade. So if you're new here, then hi, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you found it. I upload beauty videos every single week now for Vlogmas every single day, either long form videos or shorts. I would love it if you subscribe, but for now, without further ado, let's get started with taking a look at these highlighters and seeing if they're worth the price and see what the hype is about. So I already just mentioned in the intro that we were going to see what the hype was about, and by that I mean I have seen quite a few people receive these already and I haven't seen a single negative review on these yet, so that makes me of course like super curious about like what these are going to be like. But basically a little bit of a background story. Rare Beauty does have a range of highlighters in their collection. They have quite a few shades, but they all are this liquid type formula. They come in this like little tube. The one I have here is in the shade Mesmerize, but now they have just released their powder highlighters and I know quite a few people, including myself, are kind of waiting for this. I love my liquid products, but for sometimes in the morning when I'm like a little bit in a rush, I sometimes just prefer a powder highlighter because I just find it sometimes a bit easier to apply and a bit more quick. So I'm actually very happy that they did release these highlighters. Now I already showed them to you here, but I have two of the shades. They did release 4 shades in total. Like I said, the lightest one that we have here is the shade Enlighten, and this was like the lightest one out of the range. Then next we have the shade Exhilarate, which I believe was like the second to lightest out of the range. I wasn't really sure if this or Mesmerize was going to be lighter, but I was assuming this one was going to be a tiny bit lighter than Mesmerize. Like I said, we also have the shade Mesmerize, and that is basically the powder form of this liquid highlighter. I believe the shade is the same, and this is basically just like a rose gold highlighter. I love pinky highlighters, but since I already have this in a liquid form, I thought it wouldn't be like the best addition to my collection. And then lastly, there was a deepest highlighter, which is called Flaunt. Now, these contain 2.8 grams of product, which to be honest isn't that much. Let's take a look at my Charlotte Tilbury one. Here we have the Pillow Talk Multi Glow. I believe this one retailed for 39 euros, but this actually has 7 grams of product in here. So even though it is a bit more expensive, I believe the Rare Beauty ones were around the 25 price mark. I'll put the exact price on the screen or in the description box for you, but I believe it was around the like 25-28 euro price mark. I believe 28. So this one from Charlotte Tilbury is a bit more expensive, but the price per gram is less expensive. And the same kind of goes for this Fenty Beauty one. I remember this being around like 35 euros when I picked it up at Sephora. This is their highlighter Geo, and both of these sides have 3.5 grams of product. So this one is also 7 grams in total. So I was quite surprised that the Rare Beauty ones just have like a lot less product. To be honest, I'm not too bothered by it. I can't remember a time where I used up an entire highlighter, so I'm probably going to be good. But if you are looking for like just to have one highlighter in your collection, no, maybe this isn't like the best value for money. Now these are made in Italy and they have a 12-month shelf life, in case anyone was wondering. But now let's actually take a look at these beauties and see what they look like. So here we have the compact, and the compact reminds me of the Rare Beauty Stay Vulnerable Melting Blushes. I did not really like those. I tried one shade, but I find it's faded like so fast, and I just feel like the shade is really nice. So I totally love the like aesthetic and the looks of this blush. I thought it was super pretty. Then let's start off with the first shade. Right here we have this one, and this is Enlighten. I think even if you have a medium skin tone and you want like a really visible highlighter, this one would be nice. I changed up the brightness of my camera a little bit. I'm filming on auto brightness now because sometimes I found when I was showing products that it was just like a lot too bright. So let me know if this is more helpful. It gets a little bit dark, but at least it might be like a little bit more helpful to see the actual shade. But like I said, this is the shade Enlighten, and let's give this a swatch. These feel super soft And here we have it. It definitely has like a tiny bit of a gold undertone to it, but this is what the shade Enlighten looks like. I feel like this is going to be beautiful on the skin. They just come in like this cardboard white cream box. It just has like the name of the product on there, and then it just opens up at the top with some cardboard right here, and it reveals the highlighter. I was actually so relieved that none of these came broken. I was very scared that one was going to arrive broken. I don't know why. They just seemed like so soft, and I was just scared it was going to break in transit, but thankfully it didn't. And I'm very curious to see this shade. It looks like a beautiful shade. I accidentally put my nail in here when I opened it earlier to see what the shade looks like, so please don't mind, but this looks like a beautiful, like a light gold champagne shade as well. It looks so stunning and reflexive, and looking at this shade, I feel like it could definitely work for my skin tone if I use a light hand. They just have this like wet look to them, which makes them look absolutely stunning, so definitely want to put them on my face now, see what they look like, because of course that is what matters. I have a little table right here, by the way, but since my vanity is behind my back, I thought this would be easy. But let's actually try the first shade, which like I said is called Enlighten, and I'm just going to use my favorite highlighting brush for that. I'm just going to swirl it a little bit on this towel so that it's like sort of clean, and I'm just going to lightly tap this in here. I hope you guys can see this, and then apply it to the cheekbones. There's a very small little mirror, so it's kind of hard to see. Also, don't mind my makeup, looks a little bit ruined. I did my makeup in the train this morning at 7:30, and it is now, I think it's now 7:30 p.m. So it's been on my face for 12 hours, and I used a lot of cream products, and I did my makeup in the train, so it's not the best today, but I wanted to get this review up anyways. But this is what the shade Enlighten looks like. I hope you guys can see. It definitely looks like a sort of like silvery champagne shade, and it does look quite intense, which I actually like. I know a lot of people are sort of like over highlighter. I actually love a good highlighter. I definitely feel like in terms of the shade, it might be a little bit lighter than my liking. I do prefer a more like gold toned highlighter, so I'm actually glad I also picked up that other shade. It's just a little bit too silvery maybe for my liking. I don't know if that's really the word I'm looking for, but let's actually try out the shade Exhilarate and see what that one looks like. I don't know if you can see, but just tapping the brush in here, it already looks much deeper than it did when I used the shade Enlighten, so I feel like this is definitely going to be quite a bit deeper, but let's see once we actually apply it. I need to put my hair back. It's kind of hard to tell with my ring light whether I see a cast or not, but I don't think I do, and I feel like this looks like a beautiful shade. So then this is what the shades look like on my face. I hope you guys are able to see. Let's come a little bit closer. Right here you can really see the shade Enlighten, and then right here we have the shade Exhilarate. I feel like I prefer the shade Exhilarate. It's a little bit less light. I do love Enlighten as well, and I'll definitely keep that in my collection, but I feel like this one is just like a little bit nicer, and I don't feel like it's too deep for me at all. So I feel like if you have a similar skin tone to me, this one could definitely still work. I just feel like it looks really nice, and I love the texture of them. They look quite soft on the skin. I wouldn't say they like blur pores or anything, because they're still highlighter, and highlighters are always going to emphasize a bit more texture than like a normal powder, so it's totally fine. I don't really mind it. I don't expect a highlighter to like blur my pores or anything, but I do feel very soft. They look nice on the skin. So now I want to swatch some shades next to them. I don't think I have a shade that's really similar to Enlighten, because that is really light, but I want to swatch like some shades from palettes that I have in my collection. So first I want to swatch the highlighter shade from the Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm palette. So this one I think it will be helpful. This one is definitely a bit similar to Exhilarate. Exhilarate has a tiny bit more pinky tones in there, but in terms of how deep they are, I feel like it's definitely similar to this one from the Nudegasm face palette. I also want to swatch this lightest one from the Pillow Talk Multi-Glow palette. I have a feeling this might be a bit similar as well. This one is super close, you guys. If you have this Pillow Talk Multi-Glow palette, I don't think you need the Rare Beauty one. They look pretty like similar in terms of texture and shade. So I have swatched that shade right here and then also right here. As you can see, it's pretty similar. So I'm actually quite surprised. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting that one to be a lot more pinky tone, but it's actually not. And then let's also swatch it next to this one from the Hourglass palette. I feel like this one is going to be deeper and a tiny bit more gold, but let's see. I hope you guys are able to see. I hope my lighting is adjusting a little bit, but this is the shade from the Hourglass Elephant palette. It's definitely a lot deeper than the Raw Beauty one and also the other ones. I feel like this one I can still wear with a very, very light hand, but definitely a different shade than the other ones. And then the last one I'm going to be swatching is the shade Golden Nectar from this Pat McGrath Holiday Trio from last year. I believe they also have this as a single, so I think you can still get this. I also feel like this is a beautiful highlighter. And I have a feeling this might be sort of like a hybrid between Enlighten and Exhilarate, so let's swatch that. No, it's actually not. Enlighten is way lighter. So this one is the Pat McGrath highlighter, and as you can see, Enlighten right here is a totally different shade. It's a lot lighter. I'm thinking if I have something in my collection that might be similar to this, but I don't think I have. So then those were the comparisons I wanted to show you for these two highlighters. I hope this video was helpful. Like I said, I do really like them. I think I'll get a lot of use out of them, and I'll definitely try to feature them in some more videos to show you guys my thoughts. If you are looking for like a unique highlighting shade and you are a bit of a similar skin tone to me, then I would go with the shade Enlighten. If you're a tiny bit deeper than me and you want something more subtle, I would say go with the shade Exhilarate, because even though it's less unique, I feel like this one is just going to be like very intense if you are a deeper skin tone than me, if that makes sense. But I do like that I have this in my collection. I don't know if I would wear it on an everyday basis. I want to try it out over the next couple of weeks and kind of like share my thoughts at the end of the year, maybe with you guys, to see what I think of them. So let me know in the comment section what you think of these highlighters. Have you picked them up? Are you planning on picking them up? I would absolutely love to know. And if you did enjoy this video, then I would absolutely love it if you give the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. All of these things would help me so much with my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. But with that said, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I really hope you have an amazing day, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!